What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's the Bettor Sports Betting Show with Dan Servadidio. The part of Dan Servadidio will proudly be played by yours truly, Howard Bender, here today. Joining me, James Grande. As you can see, I don't have to say his Twitter handle. It's right there at the bottom of the page for you. But if this were radio, I'd be like, at the _real_Grande. What's up, James? How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. I guess if you're playing the part of Servo, I'm playing the part of you.
No, you're playing yourself.
No.
Better than playing with yourself.
Well, the base, touche. But like you're part of the Wednesday show, so you're playing Servo, and now I'm playing you. So like I'm already backwards here, Howard. Like you got me flustered. You wouldn't read my Twitter handle. That's usually a great part of my routine doing shows with you is usually you fumbling my Twitter handle, but you actually said you weren't going to read it, then read it. So good start to the show. I'm happy to be here, Howard, and we've had a good great day here. Baseball starting at 12:35 Eastern, spanning all the way to 1 a.m. Eastern. I mean, I wish there was NBA going on today. Thanks, Lakers, for that. But yeah. Well, I'm not like I wasn't rooting for the Lakers, but I'm always rooting for more basketball, Howard. You know.
Oh, see, and I'm the total opposite right there. I literally just said to Adam Rodas on the Cash It podcast, which will be out tomorrow. For those of you, anywhere you get your podcast. But I said the exact same thing. I'm like, I don't care that the Stanley Cup finals and the NBA finals don't start for like another week. And so these sweeps are going to end up causing like 5 to 6 day, possibly even 8 day layoffs for that to happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm totally cool with that because I don't need it. I let all the players get healthy, let it happen. Because I'll tell you what, man, I want to see what I'm going to track is I'm going to track line movement for when these when things start to happen. Somebody gets banged up in a practice or, whatever the case may be, we're going to start looking at some interesting line movement. And if you're talking Nuggets versus Heat, and then you're talking Vegas Golden Knights versus the Florida Panthers, I mean, this is going to be a very interesting set of championships. And you know what, for those betting it or wanting to bet it, it's I don't think it's a terrible thing to have a few days off just to be able to kind of absorb all the information because dude, once the chatter starts, some lines are going to get a little screwy because people are putting money in some oddball places.
That's true. That I don't disagree. I also just like am a basketball snob and I just want to watch more basketball. So like about 5% of me agrees on everything you said. 95% of my being is like, we want more. We want more. So that's.
I don't watch any basketball, so yeah, that's not me. That's not me.
That's fair.
Yeah, give me like the Westminster Kennel Club show. I'll bet on that. I'll bet on the sporting group every time, dude.
The sporting group? What does that even mean?
Well, you know what? And rather than me explain it to you here, why don't you go and use the Google machine like all you kids do and look up the different groups in the Westminster Kennel Club show. You'll enjoy it.
No, I won't.
Definitely enjoy it.
I won't. I'll just like bet on like esports instead. I'll go watch like 17-year-old gamers just 5v5 each other instead.
See. No, and our producer today, Adam Bernard, has it right there. King Charles Cavalier, -130 to take best in show at the Westminster this year.
I'm so proud of King Charles, but like,
money.
I mean, if Adam is a Westminster, tout, I mean, we got to bring him in for a Westminster segment every show, right?
I have no idea if those are the odds. But, yeah.
Oh, you just made that up?
Oh yeah. I mean, hold on. Let me see if I can actually find them. Hold on.
I was putting you on a whole other level of respect. And now, go away. Like, what was that? You can't come in here and tell me that you're lying about odds now, dude. You're talking, we're all dog owners here. All of us are, aren't we? I don't know. Adam, do you own a dog?
I do. I have a 75-pound American bully.
Ooh. very nice. Very nice. Grande, you've got a couple of pups yourself, right?
Yep, 2 pups, both big. Well, one shouldn't be, and one just naturally. One, my chunky little girl, Lainey, and Zeus, my
See?
100. Yep.
And,
But I
and
don't. King Charles the Cavalier. I thought we were just making things up. Like I thought Adam was just being very creative there.
No, that's a real.
I was locked in. I thought it was a great call, and nevertheless, it wasn't. See, listen, this is the kind of mood that I get in, people, when I'm riding high and it's daytime baseball around MLB, and I've already cashed one bet that I got at plus odds. Arizona Diamondbacks against the Philadelphia Phillies today. I wrote this up over at fantasyalarm.com. You'll be able to go check it out over there if you have a subscription. If you don't have a subscription, well, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Go to fantasyalarm.com/Howard. Use promo code Howard. Take 50% off your first 6 months of your subscription. I'm sure there are other floating around promo codes there, but let's use the one that matters the most. It's fantasyalarm.com/Howard. Promo code Howard. But I was in on that one, James. What do you think? Like Zach Gallen, I get that the Phillies are a strong team. They hit a lot of great left-handed bats in that lineup. But Zach Gallen coming off of probably one of the most horrific starts we've ever seen. I thought he was primed for a good spot. Nice little rebound here. Nobody on Philadelphia really had very much experience against Zach Gallen. Not a whole world of at bats, so no BVP data to worry about. And you're giving me. I took the first 5 innings, Arizona on the run line. And at that point, I was like, Gallen can kind of hold that together. Ranger Suarez cannot. And lo and behold, that's what it was. Got it for plus 115 this morning on BetMGM. So ring that cash register, baby. It's already starting, and I feel good about it.
Yeah, Ranger Suarez has fallen off a cliff over the last couple of years. And Arizona, despite not really putting their best lineup forward today, like Gabriel Moreno is raking lefties coming off a home run yesterday. They didn't play him. They didn't even have their most potent lineup today. But Ranger Suarez has been that bad, and they do have a lot of guys that hit lefties. Christian Walker has been one of the league's most powerful threats against lefties. Didn't do anything today, and they still put up 5 runs in the first 3 innings. So I have to feel good about that. Shout out to Evan Longoria that got you a home run there. And who else? Did someone else go yard? No. My boy there had a 2-run double. Emmanuel Rivera. I'm a big Emmanuel Rivera fan there, Howard, against lefties too. Like they have a lot of guys that profile well against lefties in that lineup. Ketel Marte hitting first today, Emmanuel Rivera third, Walker fourth, Longoria fifth. Like 4 of those 5 of their top 5 of their lineup all smash lefties. So love that pick. And like you said, Philly does have, but do they? Like Schwarber hitting sub 200. Trey Turner where has Trey Turner actually gone this year? Like Bryce Harper, the power hasn't necessarily been there to start. And then they hit Cody Clemens 6th today. It was a good spot to get on Arizona today in all facets, everywhere you look, except obviously the strikeouts because Zach Gallen let us down there.
Meanwhile, as we speak, there is a little nerve-wracking situation as the game is now 5-3 instead of 5-0. As the Phillies have come back. It is the top of the 9th right now, 2 out. So we'll see what happens with the Phillies in the bottom of the 9th. If that breaks before we get off this show, so be it. By the way, guys, when you look at my betting article, I predominantly the books that I use personally. You can use whatever books you want. Like that's up to you. I use DraftKings, I use BetMGM, and I use Caesars. All right. And if you go over to fantasyalarm.com, you'll see if you look in the menu under more, you'll see all our offers and stuff like that. We've got all sorts of great offers for all of these sports books. You can just go to fantasyalarm.com/DraftKings, and that gets you that bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets instantly. You go to fantasyalarm.com/BetMGM, and you get $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win. Like if you're making a bet initially, you deposit, you'll get $1,000 back in bonus bets, or up to $1,000 back. depending on how much you deposit there if you don't win on your first bet. And Caesars, again, it's another thing there, up up to 1250 back on your first bet, plus 1,000 tier credits and 1,000 reward credits. There's a promo code FULFA, FULLFA. But again, fantasyalarm.com/Caesars. So it's fantasyalarm.com/DraftKings/BetMGM/Caesars. That's where you're going to get your bonus codes there and all your fun stuff. So if you listen to what James and I have to say about the rest of the MLB slate, well, then, you might want to get in on some of that action. Let's talk about what we've got going on tonight here. And we like to lead things off with our best bets. Like, we want to put our best foot forward right from the start here. James, you see it right there on the on your monitor. James, tell us about your best bet for the night.
Yeah, so Seattle Mariners taking on the Oakland Athletics once again tonight, and it's been a good series for Seattle in general. Offensively, a team that has struggled, throughout most of the season. I think a lot of us, myself included, were high on them after last year's, amazing vibe, I would say, around Seattle in general. J-Rod, then maybe we're going to get Jared Kelenic into the mix and he's going to live up to the hype. Like, there was a lot of things swirling around Seattle that were good. And then they weren't. And they haven't been offensively. Until lately, things are starting to come around. There's been a lot of peripheral numbers for Julio Rodriguez that look like, positive regression is on the horizon. Ty France starting to hit. They get a matchup in Ken Waldichuk tonight. Ex-Yankee great Howard prospect.
You cannot use the word great and Waldichuk in the same sentence. As an editor, that offends me.
I couldn't even get through that. But he has been doing just that. He has been Waldichucking pitches that have been getting hit everywhere. And everything has been hard. Righties hitting them hard. Lefties hitting them hard. 308 average for righties. 296 for lefties. 980 OPS for righties. 1100 OPS for lefties. With Seattle's lineup kind of clicking the way it is, they're sending Bryce Miller to the mound. And the one thing that Oakland has done well this year is hit lefties. Newsflash, Bryce Miller is a righty. He's a big money line favorite. I think Seattle blows Oakland out tonight. I like the over-under sitting at 8. Oakland's implied run total lowest on the board. Everything is just pushing me to Seattle. So the best odds I can get on a Seattle bet was the run line. I think it's a blowout. I think they get to Waldichuk early, often. And what we've seen from Bryce Miller, the peripheral numbers suggest that it's real. So I'm going to take Mariners run line 1.5 and that as my favorite best bet of the night.
I don't hate that at all. I really like it a lot. There's great stuff to look at when you're talking about the Mariners right now. Players like Kelenic, like Teoscar Hernandez. I even have a soft spot in my heart for Eugenio Suarez.
Sure.
Not particularly for tonight necessarily. When the matchup's right, though, I wouldn't mind dabbling in a home run prop or two.
Yep.
With Suarez. By the way, guys, I don't know where you're watching us right now. Maybe it's on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. Maybe it's on the Bettor Sports Network's YouTube page. Whatever it is, if you've got questions that you want to, ask, chime in. I would suggest the best way to get your questions answered immediately, like if you want to float a bet our way and have James and I discuss it here, go to bettorsports.com, BETTOR sports.com. Download the app. All right, jump in on the discussion here. We are more than happy to. I already see the Bettor bosses in there, kind of chirping a little bit. Thank you so much for my congrats on the money. We'll see what happens with the rest of my bets though before I start counting chickens. You know me, I don't want to count some chickens here.
Right.
But get in on that Bettor Sports app and make that magic happen, people. Get in on that. Hit the fun button. All sorts of fun stuff there. Over there. Let's talk about some other MLB action that we've got going on for tonight. James, let's talk about some best bets that you're digging on. What are you looking at tonight?
Well, you didn't go do you want to do your best
Oh, did I
bet,
not do my best bet?
No, you didn't do your best bet.
Oh.
Come on,
So
Howard.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Can we flash that up on the screen? Is that up there on the screen? There it is right there. Listen, if you're not investing in Shane McClanahan, then you're doing it wrong. Okay? Perfect day for Shane McClanahan to be stepping onto the bump. You had the Blue Jays swinging themselves out last night, putting 20 runs up listen, it was like Luke Raley and Christian Bethencourt were sitting on the mound in the late in the game there. So like that's how it got. It got crazy. It got ugly. But listen, McClanahan's just otherworldly. He was my pick for Cy Young Award winner. And listen, odds are getting a little hinky there. So if you want to sprinkle a little something on Shane McClanahan, I think you're still getting some pretty good plus money on that. He is not the favorite to win Cy Young. I think Garrett Cole is still the favorite to win Cy Young. So get yourself in on Shane McClanahan. I'm taking the first 5 innings. I don't, bullpens. I'm starting to shy away from a lot of full game bets just because we've seen so many bullpens blow up. Right. But first 5 innings, you take the run line for Tampa Bay. You want them, with a lead here over Toronto. Yusei Kikuchi's on the mound for the Blue Jays, so I think that we're going to get some nice hits from the Rays. I think McClanahan's going to shut them down. First 5 innings, I got it for minus 125 on BetMGM. Good solid bet, decent return on your on your single unit, and we go from there. That's my best bet, and I guess I can kind of transition that into other bets that we have tonight because I also threw down a prop bet here, James. Wander Franco over 1.5 total bases. I don't know why it's plus 115 on BetMGM. Like Yusei Kikuchi pitches to a fair amount of contact. Wander Franco is beating the snot out of left-handed pitching this year. He's beating the snot out of all pitching. But for whatever reason, a lot of these props, man, I'm finding some really good plus odds, plus money for it. And so Wander Franco, I think he goes over 1.5 total bases for tonight as well.
Yeah, and Wander Franco's MO since being called up was he's better from the right side of the plate. He's been better from the right side of the plate. That is holding true again this year, hitting 333 on the year from the right side of the plate. So love that. And Kikuchi had been limiting the home runs earlier in the year. That has not been the case of late. So I love that call on the Wander Franco.
All right. Oh, the Better Boss chime in. Here's a nice little question. Well, sure. Shout it out to Gator. Need to make some money? Yeah, I got you, baby. What's wrong with the Guardians? They're now at plus 8,000 to win the World Series and plus 3,500 to win the AL. They were a sexy dark horse not even 2 months ago. And that right there, that's going to show you right now how quickly things can change in baseball. The new rules, players who we thought were going to be absolutely dominant, shit in the bed. Oh, I'm sorry, bad words. Can't use that. But you know what I'm saying here. We're looking at like some weird stuff. The Guardians, to you, outside of Jose Ramirez, are you enthralled with any of these players?
No, they're all. I mean, they paid Andres Jimenez $100 million, whatever it was, and he's been terrible this year. They don't have power, which was the same thing last year. And then what did they do? I mean, they went out and added Josh Bell. Like that was their offseason move. They added Mike Zunino, who hit sub 200 last year. Reverted back to old Mike Zunino. Like they didn't do anything. They started the year with Tristan McKenzie on the IL. He still hasn't pitched a game for them. They're down to, Bieber and Quantrill were the only 2 arms in their rotation that are still, to start the year, that are still in their rotation now. Gaddis wasn't in their rotation. Logan T. Allen wasn't in their rotation. And Tanner Beebe, who are all good prospects, but like, I don't think they wanted them in the rotation by May 1st when, essentially all of them arrive. Emmanuel Clase, has a couple blown saves already this year. Like, I don't really see where people were coming from because I didn't like the upgrades the Guardians made to begin with. Like, I thought Minnesota clearly upgraded their team far superior to them, even dating back to last trade deadline, right? When they got Pablo Lopez and stuff. I just don't think the Guardians have enough thump. They didn't last year. That was what got them out of the playoffs against the Yankees. Like, there's just not a lot to like about the Guardians.
I see a very similar trajectory if we look at the Mets and look at the Guardians, because offensively, neither team really upgraded their
No.
squad at all during the offseason, and both teams came into the year or wanting to come into the year with like pocket aces. You had
Right.
Shane Bieber and Tristan McKenzie. McKenzie was supposed to take a step forward, and he got hurt. Just like with the Mets, you had Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander. Verlander came into the season hurt. Scherzer struggled. Then he got suspended for 10 games. So the offenses are both struggling on both fronts there because they didn't really do anything to upgrade their offense. The Guardians were, happy to play small ball and kind of eke it out there because they figured we could just manufacture some runs here because our pitching is what's going to hold us together. And that just hasn't happened there. And so when you've got, the Guardians, they have the lowest weighted on base average as a team against lefties, and the second lowest are on the, against right-handed. So, I just don't think these teams offensively, the Guardians just not built to compete offensively. If their pitchers are going to give up, 4 runs, 5 runs a game, it's just not going to work. So, all right, where else are you going with your with your MLB bets?
So I'm gonna go to a Justin Vreeland special here. I'm gonna go Jared Kelenic over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, -105 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Going right back to, you're gonna see there's a lot of trends tonight, Howard. The one trend is I am attacking Ken Waldichuk at all costs tonight. Waldichuk has been bad against both splits, as I mentioned, but here are some numbers to back that up. Against left-handed bats this year, Ken Waldichuk has allowed a 453 weighted on base average, a 407 isolated power. He has an 11% strikeout rate and a 48% hard hit rate. We've seen the graphics over the last couple of days with Jared Kelenic and his improvements versus when he first came up in 2021 till now against left-handed pitching. 372 ISO, 445 WOBA, already 4 home runs against Southpaws. I think Kelenic might reach this 1.5 in his first at bat. But again, that doesn't probably surprise anyone considering I'm all in on Seattle today. But I think Kelenic over 1.5 hits, runs plus RBIs is close to a lock here at -105 on DraftKings.
I love it. I love it. Although we were joking around earlier, about Jared Kelenic, and as much as you love Jared Kelenic tonight, I think that you will never, ever, ever love him as much as Justin Vreeland of Fantasy Alarm loves Jared Kelenic.
Howard, we have an update here on the. We kind of crap Trey Turner.
It did happen.
So I tweeted about 20 minutes prior to this show, okay? I tweeted about Trey Turner, and I said, Trey Turner went from an American hero to a 0 within months. What happened? And Trey Turner read that tweet in between innings. And where's the Jordan meme when we need it? And I took that personally. Trey Turner hit a 2-run home run in the 9th inning. I will say, I've picked up Miguel Castro everywhere over the last couple weeks. Not in to close the game for Arizona today. To your point about bullpens blowing it, Miguel Castro's worked, I think, 3 days in a row, and they put in not Miguel Castro, and the game's now in the 10th inning. So.
The game is now in the 10th inning. Unbelievable. Again, this is why I've stopped betting full games, or at least I'm trying to stop betting full games. I did bet Red Sox Angels tonight, but I strictly just took the over. Over 9 runs. I got it for -120 on BetMGM. Listen, I was bullish on the Red Sox last night and they didn't really deliver. But we're looking at James Paxton versus Tyler Anderson. Both the Red Sox and the Angels hit lefties fairly well. I think they both have like a 340 weighted on base average against Southpaws. And they both have, decent weighted, runs created numbers. So, I'm looking at that and I'm like, there's, Paxton is way pitching over his head right now. There's 0 chance that Paxton continues to do what he's doing. And Tyler Anderson, hot trash as it is. And yeah, he got, he leveled off a little bit more, but I don't know if you saw him in his last start. I mean, the walks, the hits that he's allowing, he's the base runners. I'm pretty sure that Red Sox Angels game is going to get a little bit out of hand tonight. We'll see 10, 11, maybe even 12 runs. So I'm digging on that one there. Angels Red Sox over 9 runs.
You're probably going to hate to hear this. I am a James Paxton believer, Howard. As much as it pains me to say, he obviously did not fare too well with our beloved Yankees. He did not live up to the contract that he was given. I mean, he's been oft injured from dating back to his Seattle days. Like, the guy's never been able to stay healthy. And this isn't saying a lot because Boston's pitching has been what it's been this year. I know we're only 2 starts in, but he's definitely their best pitcher already. Like, I'd go out on a limb and say he's their best pitcher, and it's 2 starts into his tenure with the Red Sox. I don't disagree because both teams also a very good environment in LA. If you go over to the Fantasy Alarm ballpark tracker, 6th most runs per game scored at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. So yeah, I mean, it's a great game environment, and we know as soon as it starts getting hot out there, the ball starts to carry, and especially that short porch in right field. I know there's a big wall, but that wall is, all a facade. It's a small porch over there. So, yeah, I like the over. I will, though, defend James Paxton to the end of time.
You can defend him all you want. It's not even Paxton. I mean, listen, good luck getting past Trout and Ohtani.
Agreed.
Good luck, James. But for me, it's more on the Boston side also, going up against Tyler Anderson. I took Justin Turner over 1.5 total bases for plus money on BetMGM as well. So I'm piggybacking that one too.
He's been very good against left-handed pitching this year as well. So I completely support that. We had somebody even go as you had that, and then on the home run graphic that I've been doing every day, someone picked Justin Turner to hit a home run as well tonight. Would you be willing to back that, Howard? Home run?
No, not the home run. I mean,
just the total bases.
Well, I mean, he tweaked his knee. The dude's 38 years old. He tweaked his knee. He had been hot. He had like 6 hits in 4 games before it. Then he tweaked his knee. He's been back for 2 games. He's been hitless in both of those 2 games. So I think that the pitching matchup here for him, I think it's a plus move for Turner. But I'll take the total bases here. I'll hope for a base hit, maybe a double, or at least multiple hits in this game, just to bank on him hitting a home run. I don't even know what the odds were for Justin Turner today, but that's not going to do it for me. I'll just stick to my total bases.
There's some good. I don't know. I'm not a big BVP guy. I don't know what your thoughts are, Howard. Justin Turner against Tyler Anderson, 18 for 36, 3 home runs, 500 average and 36 at bats. It's a pretty good sample there,
dude. With a 570 WOBA,
that's a pretty good sample there.
I'll take that sample size. I'm still not going to bank on the home run from him coming off of that.
Okay. I'm going to pivot over to a team that I thoroughly enjoy using against left-handed pitching. And that's the Washington Nationals. And people like to just crap on the Nationals for whatever reason, and that's fine. The Nationals have been sneaky good against left-handed pitching this year. Howard, they're 6th highest in OPS. They don't strike out at all, 17% strikeout rate. That is currently the 2nd lowest mark in the league. And they're facing off against a guy in Ryan Weathers who doesn't miss bats. All of his sabermetric numbers suggest a massive regression coming. And we're getting pretty good odds at plus 1.5 runs, minus 120. I think the Nationals could win this game outright. They've been very bad against right-handed pitching all year long. If you can navigate Tatis and Juan Soto against righties, Trevor Williams has been okay this year. His long-standing issue has been lefty power. And Juan Soto is really the only thing that San Diego has on the flip side of this matchup that is lefty power. So I really like the Nationals tonight. I would double down with a Washington plus 130 on the money line. I know it's like you said, you haven't given much love to full game totals and environments because of bullpens and stuff. But San Diego's offense exploded last night, sure. They hit lefties way better, and Mackenzie Gore was on the mound last night. If he can navigate Soto, I really like the Nationals to cover this 1.5 run line and even possibly win outright at plus 130.
I'll give you the run line. I'm not going to get greedy and go with the money line with the Nats. Just because it's the Padres. It is a strong lineup, and I mean I haven't even looked to see what the Washington bullpen has done in recent games, but I can't imagine that it's been all that great. Michael Rojas chiming in here. First 5 innings, under 4.5 runs for the Tampa Bay Rays and the Blue Jays in that game. So under 4.5 runs, Rays, Jays, first 5 innings. Tell me what you think of that. I'll be honest with you here and just say right off the bat that with the way that these offenses are, I mean, I'll say that the Rays against Kikuchi could blow this up immediately. And I'm kind of banking on it blowing up pretty early. I have the first 5. I have the run line for the Rays on the first 5 innings. The over under on that. I don't know if I can tap into it. I could see Kikuchi just getting destroyed in the first couple of innings.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much even. Minus 120 on the over, slight edge, or on the under rather, slight edge there. But it comes down to Kikuchi, right? Because we believe in Shea McClanahan. He is plus 400 to win Cy Young. So will Tampa get to Kikuchi early? I think they will. Is it 5 runs? Is it 4 and 1 for McClanahan? I kind of like the over. But it's like the numbers they said is definitely correct because it feels like it's 4 or it feels like it's 5. I'll go over because I think Kikuchi is not long for this game.
Should be definitely interesting. I think, again, I worry about Kikuchi's end on that as opposed to that. So, Michael, thank you so much for writing in on that one. Definitely appreciate it. I can totally understand why you would want to tilt on the under for that one early on in the game. It's really going to come down to Kikuchi and, Tampa Bay. I mean, really, 395 weighted on base average with a league leading 159 weighted runs created plus. They do damage, and it's not even, they're doing it with some power. A 269 isolated power mark is great, but they're going to pepper you with hits. So if Kikuchi doesn't have everything working right from the start, kind of could get messed up. So that's not a bet that I would make. I understand why you're doing that. I would kind of tilt off of that for me personally. Before we get to some more MLB bets, James, just want to remind everybody, you guys can get the Bettor Sports Network newsletter emailed to you every single day, including daily Bettor Bet, exclusive offers, program alerts, special events, top moments. You got it. Just register for free right now. Just go to bettorsports.com, BETTOR sports.com. Just sign up for the newsletter and get all the alerts and let you know when everything's going on. Talk to me here, James. Some more, give me one more bet for tonight's action. Then we'll slide into our home run calls of the evening.
I'm going Orioles-Yankees over 8 runs at Yankee Stadium. Nestor Cortez has not been the same guy as he was last year, and I don't know if that's directly correlated to the pitch clock or if that has anything to do with just teams figuring out his quirkiness. But the Orioles are a good left-handed hitting team to begin with. And then Tyler Wells, there's a lot of numbers suggesting regression. Obviously, the Yankees top half of the lineup has been fantastic. We saw the electric Yankee Stadium last night. I think they're poised for a big game here. Over 8 runs, minus 120 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I think this is going to be more of an offensive battle than Tyler Wells versus Nestor Cortez in this game. So over 8 runs in that one.
I dig it. All right. So now every morning you and is it you or is it John and Pemba also?
No, just me. I've been just putting the graphics together for this one.
Okay. So give James a follow at _real_grande. And every morning he's tweeting out just make your home run call, like plant your flag. And I'll tell you what, man, if you're in there with us every single day and you're chiming in as far as your home run calls, if you start making some really strong home run calls with consistency, well, hell, I'll be happy to give away, free stuff, right? Free subscription. Who wouldn't want a free subscription to fantasyalarm.com? So, jump in on that, follow James and get in there. Where did you go for your home run call today? Who's your home run call?
So my morning home run call, Howard, did not hit. It was Rodolfo Castro as an out left field. He just hit lefties well. But my afternoon home run call is going to be Teoscar.
You went Rodolfo Castro as a home run call for the AM?
Yeah, have you looked at his splits against left-handed pitching in the last 2 seasons? He's one of those guys that makes me think that some switch hitters should never hit from the other side.
Well, we know that for a fact. Well, yes,
right. Like Ozzie Albies, Rodolfo Castro. I'm telling, this guy has been a lefty masher for 2 straight seasons. So I went off the board. This one, guess what, Howard? Targeting Ken Waldichuk again. I went Teoscar Hernandez plus 300 over on. And you know what's funny? I was looking through the odds today. You know who has the best home run odds for the Seattle Mariners today, Howard? Not Julio Rodriguez, not Jared Kelenic. Teoscar Hernandez did, plus 300. And that's because when you look at Teoscar over the last couple of years, all he's done is hit lefties for power. 295 ISO paired with a 523 slug this year. And this is a year that he hasn't really done well, but it's been all power all the time. Last year, much of the same, but even better, 648 slug, 978 OPS, 363 ISO against lefties last year. I've already talked about Ken Waldichuk and how much power he's allowing. It's not only the power, the fly ball rates for Ken Waldichuk are through the roof. Doesn't miss bats, which, sometimes we worry about with Teoscar. None of that is really concerning to me. I think Teoscar Hernandez, home run. I've been playing him in pretty much every setting against a lefty just because the power numbers are always tops of the league. But you're telling me that he has better home runs odds than J-Rod, who, everyone gravitates to, better odds than Kelenic, who's been better this year? I'm taking Teoscar Hernandez plus 300.
Yeah, listen, I mean, Kelenic, it's lefty on lefty crime, and that's always a little concerning. And as far as J-Rod goes, well, I'm not going to say he sucks this year, but he's really, kind of tapping into that sophomore slump. Yeah. For me, I went with Randy Arozarena, baby. I'm going to stay with the Rays here. I'm all in on the Rays, especially coming off of that 20-1 loss. Like at home, you can't tell me there's not going to be a chip on the shoulder there. Arozarena, 495 weighted on base average against lefties, 469 isolated power mark, a 1.195 OPS. Give me Randy Arozarena to hit that home run. Got it plus $400. Plus 400 there. And I feel good about this. And I love the game. I love the morning game. I love the Twitter game that we're playing here. And at some point we should definitely start keeping track of what we're doing and who's hitting and who's missing. I think that's going to be definitely important. Before we get to, I want to bring in Adam Bernard, our producer. He's one of the premier hockey guys that we know, at Pucking Thoughts right there on the old Twitter machine. You can see that. Before we start moving on in there, Adam, I want you to get comfortable. I want you to, brace yourself there. And let's talk about tonight's action, because Panthers, they're going for the sweep tonight against Carolina. Panthers are a minus 115 money line favorite. The over-under on this one is 5.5 goals. The over is plus odds there, which I'm fine not taking that. I like the under at minus 125. But listen, this has been a crazy series, Adam, and I know that you were back in Carolina once before. But talk to me here about tonight's action. Do the Hurricanes avoid the sweep?
I think they do, because if you look at game 3, they outplayed Florida for most of that game. Florida had one good look at net out of 17 shots. I believe Carolina took, 32 or 37.
Mm-hmm.
They hit 3 or 4, maybe even 5 posts. Bobrovsky's been playing out of his mind. Even Gretzky said it during the second intermission on TNT the other night. The Hurricanes are outplaying Florida. You look at what Florida's done in this series. It took 4 overtimes to win that one. It's 2-1 game 2. They've only scored 6 goals themselves this series. So it's not like they're up 3-0 on Carolina and they're dominating them. They've got puck luck going on their side, and they've got the hot goalie behind them right now. So that makes a big difference.
All right. So what are you taking Carolina tonight to win?
I'm going to take Carolina on the money line tonight to win. I know it's cliche, too good of a team, too well coached. For the points I just made, that Florida's not dominating. And I think Carolina, they're so close to break. I think it's like 121 minutes that they have not scored a goal on Sergei Bobrovsky. And I think they're close to breaking through. I think they get the money line tonight. Puck line's probably a little bit too much. When it comes to over-under, you have to go under right now because every indication is that way. Only 6 goals over 3 games for Florida. I think if Carolina gets 1, they'll get a few, but I still don't think it's enough to push it for the over tonight.
All right, so that's what we got going on for tonight. Super excited about that one as well. Yeah, there it is. Look at those stats for Bobrovsky. You want to talk about a dude just standing on his head. And listen, we go through this with the Stanley Cup playoffs all the time. A hot goalie really does everything for you. And we see it, Bobrovsky, who throughout the season was like meh. Right, Panthers only got in because who was it? Who got bounced from the playoffs? Like right there in like the final. I can't remember.
Washington and Pittsburgh down the stretch, kind of like.
Yeah, I think it was Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh couldn't beat like some tomato can team at the tail end, and that's what ended up happening there for the Panthers. So hot goalie carries you through here. I like your pick here tonight of Carolina on the money line. It's minus 105 on DK Sportsbook. If you can get it for better odds than that, I would definitely be in to do that one here for tonight. And I agree. I think the under is definitely the way to go. Guys, tonight, talk sports with Rick Kamla and Lisa Ann. That's right. Better Sports Live. That's tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern on Better Sports Network, YouTube channel, and at bettersports.com. You can watch it on the app. Lisa Ann, always money in the bank. If you missed the her story with Britt Flynn yesterday on Better Sports Network, go find that one on the app. Go look up her story on the app, or you can find it on the Better Sports Network's YouTube channel as well. And go watch that. Just an amazing interview with Britt Flynn and Lisa Ann yesterday. In on that one there. And then who doesn't love Ricky Kamla with Ricky Props? Ricky Props giving you just dishing it out. We write up the article. There's always a video right there, a YouTube short on the Better Sports Network YouTube channel where Rick's making his prop calls there. We write it up over at fantasyalarm.com as well, so you can kind of take a look and see what Rick is looking at for tonight. So they're following live action while they're on. Who knows? Maybe even Rick Kamla will go with Disco Rick and get those funky lights going on in his play. So lots of fun action here on the Better Sports Network, including coming up next, right after us here on the show. James, you're going to stay put right where you are. John and Pemba going to come in and join. You guys got the quick pitch MLB DFS. That's coming up next. Then at 6 p.m., it's a replay of the Her Story interview with Lisa Ann and Britt Flynn. You're going to want to check that out. And then, of course, then afterwards at 7 p.m. Eastern, Better Sports Live with Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla. So before I tag out, and give you an opportunity. I don't know. Give you like 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe you got to take a pee. Maybe you want to have a drink or something, whatever the case might be. Maybe a little snacky snack. Some final thoughts here about betting tonight's MLB slate, or betting anything for that matter.
Phillies win on this in the 10th, Howard, just to let you know.
I'm just so glad I stayed away from the Diamondbacks money line. I'm so happy right now.
I mean, there's some good odds tonight. I think there's definitely some good leans that you and I both had. I think you and I both really pinpoint 2 spots in Toronto, Tampa, and Oakland, Seattle that we both really love. So if you're not feeling comfortable with anything else, you could just play light in those 2 spots, because there's a lot of good pitching tonight. There's Colorado that's always tricky to navigate the waters of. So except when you're betting Jorge Soler in Colorado against a lefty, that's always money in the bank. But no, I mean, just you're not comfortable with the rest of the action, make sure to play light. You never have to play, Howard. That's what you when we were at the in the Mpemba wedding, you said, I don't know, you don't always have to play if you don't feel comfortable. But I think you and I dished out some goodies tonight.
Ooh. All right. Well, guys, obviously stay tuned again, especially if you're playing DFS. James Grande and John Mpemba are going to take it away and kind of crush it here on that slate. So stay tuned here. Keep your app open. You don't want to miss a single bit of it here. Big thank you to Adam Bernard, our producer, for the puck insights and for pushing the buttons, making us look nice and good, right? Making me look all pretty here today. Appreciate that. So for James Grande, I'm Howard Bender. This has been Better Sports Betting with Dan Servadidio, but without Dan Servadidio. We'll catch you next time.